Good evening. I'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Supervisors Dodge and Blau are excused this evening. We will go ahead and open it up to citizen comments. If there are any citizen comments to speak, please step to the podium. Citizens' comments? Any citizen comments? Seeing none, citizen comments are now closed. I hope everyone had a nice holiday. We've missed a few meetings. And we'll go ahead and move on to supervisor reports. Supervisor Overman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have good ice this year for our 6th annual Katy Park Youth 4-H Fishing Derby. Before the ground froze, we put in the stakes for the tent. We've got all our vendors lined up, and it is this Sunday at the Katy Park from 7 to 11. They're going to be good ice. I checked it today. They've been checking it every day. Everything is in great shape. A few of the things that I've been reporting on for the past year have finally wound up. The Sheriff's Department detectives have moved in the second floor in the renovated public safety building there, and they are operational there. The EOC staff, they've also moved in, and they are operational. They have a few minor things to do. Former fleet maintenance area in the public safety building demo is 100% complete, and that's the area that's going to be reconstructed for the medical examiner, and that move-in is slated for April 1st. As you all read for the ribbon cutting in the paper, the Branch 4 court remodel is complete. We have consensus with the FAA with our plan for Highway HS 31, our major construction that's going to occur in the next couple of years, so that our engineering can now take place. Highway H, Bain Station Road, is complete, the roundabout there. We have some lighting that still has to be taken care of. We have 3 resolutions tonight for parks, so I won't get into that. Public Works, you're all aware of the big power outage that we had here in the city. And when I saw that on the news that evening, my first fear was our new generator at the public safety building. Everything worked as planned. The new generator performed as designed. Civic Center, nothing went down. And the Brookside Care Center also performed quite well with that power outage. The storage building at the detention center is nearly complete, and we are attempting to secure occupancy on 1/8, so possibly we did that this week. That is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Overman. Supervisor Poole, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to report I toured the new courtroom Branch 4 and compared other courtrooms to see the difference, and I'd like to comment that it was a nice upgrade, and I would like to congratulate Ray Arbit's department for coming in well under budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Poole. Supervisor Boyd Frederick, you have the floor.
Thank you. I left on everyone's desk tonight a invitation to come to the Chamber Legislative Breakfast, which will be Monday the 19th. If anyone would like to go, the County Board will be picking up the $15 registration fee. And on or before the next meeting, please let Mary Krebs know that you'll be attending. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Frederick. Supervisor Retzloff, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to take a moment to thank many of you in this room that sent me your well wishes and prayers while I had quite an health episode. It meant a lot to me, and I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. It kept my spirits high, and I can't tell you how much that meant to me. So glad to be back. The progress looks good, and thanks again.
Thank you, Supervisor Retzloff. Supervisor Hallman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Please beg my pardon for what I'm about to do, because normally I like to be a bit higher about the protocol, but I'd like to inform the board that as of yesterday, I was on the Job Center of Wisconsin site looking for a new job. I would like to pay my taxes. I'd like to wash my clothes. I would like to actually support owning a vehicle. But as I looked at the jobs offered in our county, Madam Chair, I went through 20 web pages worth over the course of 3 hours. There was almost nothing over $11 an hour on a bus line. The ones that were offered that were nicer than $11 an hour, $13.50, $14.50, $15.50. One of them we supported through our votes through CABA, which was Niagara Bottling, which is located all the way at 158, which took over where the Jelly Belly factory used to be. When the store that was there left, so did the bus that went to it. So the closest that you can get is 75th and Green Bay Road. You'd have to walk the rest of the way. And I'm sure in negative 10-degree weather, that could be very unpleasant. To add further comedy to this drama, the bus, there was a job out at what used to be Gander Mountain. The bus stops at the Woodmans, and you'd have to walk the rest of the distance, which is not that far, but you could also still extend public services so that people could get to work. Madam Chair, we take votes to support the people who live here to be able to build our community to keep it strong to do this. I want to be one of those people, but I'd really like my local government to help me out. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Hallman. Supervisor Gens, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. When Supervisor Hallman told me his tale before the meeting, I thought to myself, can we look at where our bus routes go, or the city bus routes, towards some of our new bigger companies that are in the area? You know, I'd just like to have that information. I mean, if there's a bus line that we could extend ourselves. I know we went out to Western County and other things. I don't know the status of that right now. Maybe somebody from the West could tell me that, but I think we should either work with the city to get our bus routes out to these major new companies, or work on something ourselves. We should look at that. So, I mean, I would ask you to get that information for me. Somebody get the information. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Gens. Any other supervisor reports? Seeing none, we will go ahead and move on. County Executive Appointments, Gregory Crunchko to serve on the George Lake Planning and Rehabilitation District Board. Refer to Planning Development Extension Education Committee. Richard Willoughby to serve on the Kenosha County Commission on Aging and Disability Services. Refer to Human Services. Edmund Weaver to serve on the Kenosha County Commission on Aging and Disability Services. Refer to Human Services. And Janice Erickson to serve on the Kenosha County Commission on Aging and Disability Services. Refer to Human Services. New business, resolution, one reading, 62 from the Finance and Administration Committee, a resolution authorizing transfer of 4 parcels taken by tax deed to the town of Wheatland and forgiveness of taxes and assessments. Supervisor Rose, aye. Ron Frederick, aye. Gantz, aye. Retzloff, aye. Rick Dodge, excused. Kubicki, aye. Esposito, aye. Supervisor Rose, you have the floor.
On behalf of the Finance Committee, I would move the resolution.
I have a first by Supervisor Rose and a second by Supervisor Ron Frederick. Supervisor Rose.
These are 4 parcels of land which have been taken by tax deed in the town of Wheatland. They have a public purpose for this, for drainage, and they are asking us to transfer these tax deeded properties to them for this public purpose, for giving the back taxes and assessments. The town of Wheatland supports it, of course, and the Finance Committee endorsed it. We ask for your support this evening.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 63, from Planning and Development and Extension Education Committee, a resolution to appoint Scott Schutze, Director of the Kenosha County Division of Land Information, as Kenosha County Real Property Lister. Aaron Decker, aye. Poole, aye. Scalise, aye. Gilmore, aye. Steve Bostrom, excused. Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move Resolution 63.
I have a first by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Poole. Supervisor Decker.
Thank you. This resolution would appoint Scott Schutze, Director of Land Information, as Real Property Lister, and also to serve on the Kenosha County Land Information Council in that capacity. Mr. Schutze will receive no additional pay as Kenosha County Real Property Lister, and he will be succeeding Al Brockmeyer, who has retired. The Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee reviewed the appointment at our meeting on January 10th and recommends approval.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Supervisor Gens, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just for my own gratification, what is the definition of a real property lister and what do they do?
Supervisor Decker.
I cannot give that description. Is someone from...
Good evening. My name is Scott Schutze, the Director of the Land Information Office for Kenosha County. It is my appointment that is before you tonight. And to answer your question, Supervisor Gens, the Real Property Lister is tasked with the cataloging of all real property throughout the Kenosha County. So we maintain an address for each and every parcel of land throughout the county, as well as the ownership names. Those are used to create the tax bills for Kenosha County.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
No, that's good.
Okay. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 64, from the Public Works and Facilities and Finance and Administration Committees, a resolution to accept a $200,000 grant award from Fund for Lake Michigan. Elverman, aye. Brady, excused. John O'Day, aye. Gilmore, aye. Wamble, aye. Steve Bostrom, aye. John Franco, aye. Supervisor Rose, aye. Ron Frederick, aye. Jeff Gantz, aye. Kubicki, aye. Retzloff, aye. Esposito, aye. Rick Dodge, excused. Supervisor Elverman, you have the floor.
I move Resolution 64.
I have a first by Supervisor Elverman and a second by Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Elverman.
Thank you. The comprehensive Pike River plan that the county created is a three-phase plan within Petrifying Springs Park, and it works with the Pike River restoration groups. The Phase 1 plan calls for restoration in the wetland area located in the southernmost branch of the Pike River in the Pike River watershed. This is planting that will go on in coordination with the work and grading that we've already done in PETS. 86 shrubs, 34 trees, 4,600 wet prairie plants, and seeding mix that will encompass 3.9 acres. So this works as a filtration effort for the Pike area watershed. This is from a fund for Lake Michigan. It's a $200,000 grant with no match or expense from Kenosha County. So this will help facilitate the long-range plan, and I would ask for your support. This allows our staff to accept this grant and begin the bidding process.
Anything else? No? Okay. This is a budget modification, so we do need a roll call. Motion passes. Resolution 65, from the Public Works and Facilities and Finance and Administration Committees, a resolution to apply and accept funds for Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources County Conservation AIDS Grant.
Supervisors Elverman, I. Grady, excused. O'Day, I. Gilmore, I. Wamble, I. Bostrom, I. Franco, I. Supervisor Rose, I. Ron Frederick, I. Jeff Gantz, I. Kubicki, I. Retzloff, I. And Dan Esposito, I. Rick Dodge, excused.
Supervisor Elverman, you have the floor.
I move Resolution 65.
I have a first by Supervisor Elverman and a second by Supervisor Gantz. Supervisor Elverman.
This is for prairie restoration seeding. Some that will be done at the Katy Park and some at the county center. If you're familiar with the grading and the hiking trails that have been done at the county center, there's going to be some of the seeding there. It's a total of 20 acres of restoration. We've already done the spraying, which would kill off the existing vegetation. There's a match of $1,600 to the county. The total project cost is $3,260. I would ask for your approval and acceptance.
Thank you, Supervisor Elverman. This is a budget Supervisor Decker.
If we accept these grants, I'm sorry, I don't know who to ask, so. If we would accept these grants and seed at the county center, does that affect our ability to use that parcel or land in the future if we would want to build something there? Does it prohibit us?
Do you have building plans?
No, but we purchased that land in the future to possibly build. We didn't do it to build a walking path. And so in the future, does this prohibit us because we're using DNR grant funds to pay for the seeds?
Supervisor Elverman.
From what I was told originally, we did not use grant money to purchase the land. We would have a certain portion of that land that we would allocate that would be wetlands and restored areas anyway, that I was told we have plenty of buildable land on the site.
Does that answer your question?
Not exactly. I mean, where we're planting the seed, can we build on that in the future? I'm talking 20 years from now, or does this prohibit us from building on it because we used DNR grant funds to buy the seed?
Any thoughts on that one?
Wetland, so it's probably not buildable.
Jim, anything?
I could definitely say no. I was told no, that it doesn't prevent us from doing any building.
Yeah, I don't think it does. But Jim, do you have anything?
We might have to pay back the $1,600 for the seed, but not the land. That's what I was told.
Okay, thank you. I just don't want to be prohibited because of $1,600.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Seeing no other lights, this is a budget modification. Roll call is needed. Motion passes.
Resolution 66 from the Public Works and Facilities Committee, a resolution to proclaim September 15th, 2018 International Migratory Bird Day in Kenosha County. Supervisors Elverman, I. Grady, excused. O'Day, I. Gilmore, I. Wamble, I. Bostrom, I. Franco, I.
Supervisor Elverman, you have the floor.
I move Resolution 66.
I have a first by Supervisor Elverman and a second by Supervisor O'Day. Supervisor Elverman.
Thank you. The annual Migratory Bird Day Proclamation is part of the criteria for being a bird city. I understand that we are a county, but we are the agent that makes Kenosha a bird city. Kenosha County is called part of that. This enables us to keep that designation, and it is a huge amount of tourism that people don't realize that goes along with this designation. The Pringle Nature Center runs classes and workshops and does learning facilities for multiple school classes and adults. The city benefits, the county benefits with tourism, so this has no cost to the county, and we want to keep this designation as Bird City. So I ask you to vote for this Migratory Bird Day proclamation.
Thank you, Supervisor Alverman. Supervisor Gens, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through the chair to Supervisor Elverman, does Pringle Nature Center do anything on this day or during this month? I mean, do they have things that they use to, draw people in and use this as a drawing point or something?
Oh, they do. They do, and the observance is on September 15th, and it's at the Pringle Nature Center.
I got that in this beautiful read that I have here, but I just wondered if Pringle Nature Center actually had like classes come out, or I don't know, tie into it, so that we're just not a bird county, we're actually doing something with it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Thank you.
I know it's kind of far for you to go, but maybe you should try going out there at some point to visit the Bristol Woods. Supervisor
And see the
Gens.
birds?
And see the birds.
Well, hey, if I can look at this new technology, maybe I can do that too.
Well, they brought the owls and the falconers out there for the fall festival.
Nice.
So, yeah, very nice. They tell you how they kill things and eat them, and
I wish I would have been notified. I would have went to
it's
that.
very pleasant for children. Yep.
Anything else?
Oh, I'm good.
Thank you. Seeing no other lights, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Communications from Andy M. Bueller regarding future items scheduled before the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee.
Receive and file.
Claims, Quanisha L. Lobdell, vehicle damage.
Refer to Corporation Council.
Vanessa Rojas, vehicle damage.
Refer to Corporation Council.
Maria C. Norman, vehicle damage.
Refer to Corporation Council.
Approval of the December 5th, 2017 minutes by Supervisor Poole.
Supervisor Poole, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to approve December 5th minutes. Thank you.
I have a first by Supervisor Poole and a second by Supervisor Gilmore. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Who is that? Supervisor Gens moved to adjourn, and the second was from Supervisor O'Day. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We're adjourned. Thank you.